right. So this week I want to talk about probably one of the hardest things that I hate dealing with, and that's actually the shelf life of your content. Now, some content has a long lasting shelf life, right? I talk about cutlery, and I talk about cooking communities a lot. Um, if you guys haven't picked up, that's kind of like my side jam. I love talking about food. I love food. I like cooking food, and so some content there isn't gonna go bad, but in tech content, tech changes daily, and sometimes it feels like it changes minute by minute, and we have to keep up with the our content being outdated. So when you have a video out there and it might be out there, flag it and kind of come back to it. And then so what I do, I guess I should take a step back. So will if I put a video out there and I'm talking, let's say, about pods, and something changes with pods, right? I actually have a list of videos that I've done or content I've been around pods, and if I read that there's some major change coming to pods, I go back and I go look at that content and I go, oh my god, is it updated, is it still fresh, right? Because like in a cutlery community, right, there's only a few good ways of chopping an onion, right? And there's millions of bad ways of doing it, but you can build content about, hey, this is the best way to chop an onion. And then inversely, that's not the case with tech. So what we're kind of forced with is to look at that content and keep it up. Now you can refresh the content. If it's a blog post, you can say you updated it, but know that your content that you're putting out there today might not be valid tomorrow. It might not be valid in an hour. It might be valid for a year. It could be valid for 10 years, right? You don't know, but it's keeping up with that. So you're not putting misinformation out. People are like coming back and going to your channel or something like that and saying, man, I read this blog post and you're way off. And you're like, did you check the date? It's like 10 years old. And they're like, well, yeah, I thought you would update it, right? And so it's kind of a balance. Now, if you've given up on your blog, you're giving up on everything, and you don't care anymore, you're letting it all ride out and die. What I'm saying here, it does not matter. But one of the things with it is just trying to keep up with it. And like I said, my way of doing it is the content I put out, I put a list, I kind of put hashtag, I put them in groups. I said, these videos are under this technology. And when something comes out, I just kind of like look at it, glance at it, and see if I can update it and not do it. And sometimes you can make a subsequent video, which I always love. It's like you watch the first one, and then when a creator comes back and says, hey, that was old, that was like old technology, here's the latest, here's the update. And then they talk about the change, or they talk about the update. They talk about why they had to make the next video for it. I absolutely love that. So if you can do content like that, that's great. If it's a blog post, it might be better just to update the blog post, say, hey, I updated on this date, blah 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 blah. But if it's video content, the follow-up video is great, and it gives you an extra video to put out there, extra video to make content around. So if you're like, what am I, oh man, what do I want to talk about this week? This actually gives you the ability to just refresh a little bit of older content that has come outdated, but because technology, it happens, and then you can then publish another video and says, hey, this is kind of subsequent to it. I love watching those because it's like seeing where they were and where they're at. So let me know what you think in the comments. If you like the channel, obviously hit subscribe, and we see the rest of you guys in the community.